Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I am here with my favorite.
Your favorite.
Chris Franjola.
Thank you for saying
I'm not going to put anything on anybody else's
opinion. I don't want the
opinion.
other people to say, he's not my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Your favorite.
Definitely mine.
I don't even know about that, but I'll take it.
100%.
Really? All right.
Yes.
Thank you. It's
we'll
nice.
see what happens in the next couple months. Right now, you're still at the top of the pyramid of
I don't wear
of people.
earrings. So
not
anyway,
yet. Again, not yet.
Not yet. That's
Not
true.
yet.
That could change at any time.
That's the first thing that happens.
I know,
you start
the
wearing earrings.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen. Thank you for being here. Tell me about your Thanksgiving.
Had a nice one. How about yours? Good? You had a good time?
Yeah, it was our first Thanksgiving in La Quinta, and we always, every other year, we host with Peter's cousins and siblings, and then this time my sister sometimes comes, but it was supposed to be 27. A couple of people got sick, down to 23. I had 23.
That's still a lot. That's a lot. And you handle that?
I stopped. At a certain point, I was like, I used to try to be the wife that impressed the other relatives.
Yeah.
But now that I'm an old wife, like it's been a long time, I think I did too many sides from Costco, and I'm a little disgusted with myself.
Too many sides? Already prepared?
Yes. I did too much because I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing all Costco. I'm just going to throw some rosemary on it and like an extra pecan to make it look like my own.
But you didn't say it was your own. You didn't.
I didn't lie.
Okay.
I just didn't care. I've been in the family long enough.
Right.
They're thrilled to come. And but now, as I chucked some of those sides at this one yam dish that I got, the deck, I had to get rid of it before I left La Quinta. And it looked like a pile of dicks. It looked so gross. The whole way driving home, I was like, you know what? I'm going back there for Christmas. My sister's going to be there, and there's not going to be as many people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Shannon and I are going to actually make some real food from scratch.
Right.
Like, we're going to actually buy the sweet potatoes, and maybe I'll do like a sweet potato souffle or something. I'm going to really make some other vegetables.
Yeah.
I did too many half-ass Costco situations, and I felt a little dirty after. A little dirty.
And the sweet potatoes look like a bunch of
dicks. Nobody wanted. Nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
And every year I try to push them on people, and every year I'm like, why do I keep doing that? If they're not a hit, I don't need to have
Costco
14
sweet
sides.
Potato?
It was a Costco sweet potato, a little healthier version.
Yeah.
I should have just gone for the mashed, or I should have done this one thing that there is a Ruth Chris recipe that you can find online that I did once.
Right.
That is their sweet potato souffle, which is freaking delicious. So that is what I'm going to do for Christmas.
Okay.
Peter did the turkey on the Traeger. That turned out great.
Oh, good.
But Drake was furious because he took it out, let it rest. Then we cut it up, covered it. But by the time we did our circle where we say what we're grateful for, Drake felt it wasn't warm enough.
Oh, okay.
And so he's pissed about that. And so I'm like, I want to do a redo.
Yeah.
Either Christmas Eve or Christmas, do the turkey, actually make real sides, not as many.
Okay.
Too many fucking sides.
Yeah. And are you doing it out in La Quinta again, Christmas in La Quinta? Or here?
No, we'll do it there. We'll do it there.
Okay.
I did a very exciting thing for my decoration.
What? For Christmas or Thanksgiving?
I just made the boys go before I left.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to reveal it. Can I reveal it? I guess I can.
Absolutely. I'm not going to tell anybody.
I went, so the way my house is, I have these doors, and there's equal glass on either side of the doors.
Okay.
And because it's kind of modern and it's Palm Springs, I got 2 pre-lit white flocked trees for either side, and it fucking looks great.
Really?
And I don't even know if I'm going to decorate them. I might be like a chic restaurant.
Yeah.
Or if I do it, I'm only going to do like gold and silver balls.
Okay.
And then, so then the kids are like, well, we're not going to bother putting up our tree here, are we? And I'm like, yes, that's like our kid tree.
Wait, the tree in Woodland Hills.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm having anyone come over.
And they're not kids anymore.
I don't have any friends left. So it's like,
I'll swing by. I'll swing by. Wow.
Maybe I can do something with your daughter.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell me about your Thanksgiving.
We had a night. We go to my wife's, family's house. It's none of my family, all her family.
Yes.
They live here, and we went over there. It was, it's a bunch of. They're all like nerds, They're like nerdy people. They do like real, what we call regular people jokes and stuff. They laugh at commercials. You ever see, you know what I'm talking about? Like watching a football game and a funny commercial comes on and they'll actually laugh at the funny commercial. That's funny to like regular people, but not to like comedians.
Oh, interesting.
So I have to deal with that. I have to deal with like regular people.
Well, at least you're together with your wife. Some people that were separated. Do you want to hear? Oh, yes, I do. Tell me. Please tell.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anything greater on Thanksgiving in my life. Okay, now you know how sometimes strange, like people who, their neighbors came, a couple.
Right.
Probably in their mid-70s. Okay. They came because they didn't have any family. So they have children, but they were moved out.
Got it.
So I guess my wife's family was like, come on over. So they came over. Mm-hmm. They were very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, it comes time to serve everybody and we're all in the kitchen. Everything's on the table and we're all serving. And the guy has a sweater wrapped around his, that tied sweater over his shoulders.
Yes.
Okay. And my wife's mother goes, be careful with your sweater. The stove is on. Because he's standing by the stove with his plate. Nothing's happening.
Okay.
She just says, keep an eye on it. The stove's on. Make sure your sweater doesn't. And he goes, oh, that's how my grandmother died, And I thought it was a joke. I thought he was just like, ha ha. And he goes, no, seriously. And he turns to me, and I'm waiting in line with my plate. I just want to get my food. And he goes, no, seriously. She was an elderly woman, Irish American, and she had a big shawl on, and it caught on fire. And she was too old to get it off her, and she burned to a crisp. And he goes, her daughter found her the next day, burned to a crisp on the floor. This is what he's telling me as I'm waiting in line. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he turned without missing a beat. He goes, oh, 2 kinds of stuffing. I couldn't believe it. I turned to my wife and said, did you just hear what he just said? And she goes, yeah. I said, his grandmother burned to a crisp. And he just told me.
I don't know if you know what I'm thinking of right now.
What?
But I'm thinking about the day that we realized the story. I think Chewy told us how his mother died was that they had a small house.
Yeah.
And they picked corn or collected corn or sold corn. And they had so much corn that they decided to put the corn on the roof.
The corn husks on the roof, yeah.
Corn husks?
Yeah.
Like this whole time I thought they were just a bunch of ears of corn.
I think there was the husks. They had sheared the husks or something. From what I gathered. It could have been the ears of
Anyway, it was
corn.
so heavy that it broke the roof one day and she died.
The roof collapsed on his mom.
Yes.
Yeah, and his mom was crushed by corn. And we thought that was a joke.
No, we didn't. And then it was like, but then we would be so awful that like when we'd have like food at lunchtime, if there was ever corn on the cob or usually corn on the cob. If it was like a corn dish, no one brought it up. But if it was corn on the cob, we'd be like, don't let Chewy in here. Like, like he's going to be triggered.
Yeah.
It was awful. Dark humor. That's what we do. That's what comedians.
That's what I got on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then and then the same guy told me that he said, don't get a dog with my daughter. He goes, don't get a dog. You're not going to want a dog. I was like, okay, cool. Because we were running around the backyard. And he goes, yeah, we never got dogs. But so what we did with my 3 kids is we just gave them dog names and had them drink out of dog bowls. So they were the dogs. Hey, you probably couldn't do that these days, right? I was like, no, I don't think you could.
That's awful.
He goes, yeah, we made them the kids the dogs.
Do you know there was a kid that lived up the street from us? And he was the youngest of 3. And he had a different name. I'm just going to call him Sean.
Okay.
But they told everybody in the neighborhood and everything, oh, that's PETA. We call him PETA. And we're like, oh, okay. We just thought that was his name. Then we're like, that's not his name. His name is really Sean. And they're like, oh, we call him that because it's short for pain in the ass. The kid was like 6 or 7 at this time. And the entire family called him PETA.
That's not nice.
And then we were like looking over and we like saw that like they invited us over for his birthday or whatever. And on the cake, the Carvel cake, happy birthday, PETA.
Wow. That's
but he's fine
nice.
today.
He is? Oh,
yeah,
well,
he's successful and has kids.
He overcame
It's just people just raise their kids differently.
I guess that's
true. They just really did.
I know. People,
we are way too nice of parents ourselves.
I know. Things today, you just forget about. You'd be arrested for everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of which, Will and Jada spent Thanksgiving together.
I saw that. I saw a picture.
They hired a professional photographer to make sure that, and then posted all over to make sure the world knew that they spent Thanksgiving together.
I mean, this marriage is tightly, I mean, it's a tight-knit marriage. If they have survived everything they've been going through the last couple of years, still able to hang out on Thanksgiving, God bless.
I'm also just like, I've said this before, like, okay, I do feel it would have been shocking if you broke up 12 years ago when you'd wear matching outfits and you're on Oprah, you know?
Right.
But now, God, go live your life.
Yeah.
God, Will, get another girlfriend that's like into you.
Right.
Anyway, but they did. And then also here they all are together. You know, good-looking family.
Nice-looking family.
And then...
now, is that the grandmother? Is that Grandma Pinkett Smith?
Oh, yeah. That's Pink. Wait, where's the grandma?
Right there.
In the hat.
Jesus, she looks like she's 25.
Well, she is. I mean, she is not much older than Jada. She had her really young.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's some good genes.
Family.
Yeah. And then Kyle and Mauricio, they're separated, but they spent Thanksgiving together.
Oh, good. See, everybody's working it out.
And people always wonder about her and this girl, Morgan Wade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you love me. She's going on tour singer. With Alanis Morissette, and they say they're just good friends, but then they played with the rumors and did a romantic music video together for her.
Right.
That maybe they were more than good friends.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I spotted them in La Quinta together.
You did?
Yep.
Wow, that's a good one.
It is a good one because I walked in and my friend who's a Juicy Scooper invited me to her like country club gated area where they film when Kyle has the girls over. They have a house there. And I was walking through and they were having like a snow slide and things like that and like a whole day for kids shopping, whatever.
Right.
And I just see this girl sitting there and I see, all the neck tattoos and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I wonder, why does that look familiar to me? It took me like a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's Morgan Wade. And then later on, we went around the golf course and we saw them taking a power walk together.
Well, that says it right there, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no? Power walk? I
Women
feel like
take walks together all the time.
Not a power. I think power walks.
But I think what happened is I think she did her family thing with him in LA. And then just she and Morgan went to the house. But I don't know. There could have been a house full of other people. But
you didn't approach? You didn't go up and say...
I was on the golf cart. Yeah. And I'm like, other people would whip out their camera and take a photo. Right. But I think I'm above that.
It's nice of
and
you.
I'd just rather talk about it on the show.
Yeah,
and tell you I didn't see anything.
Didn't look like they were just
No, they were not making out. They were, not holding hands. Right. They were just walking.
Okay.
So who knows? I wanted to bring this up to you because I just thought about this girl today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this girl still killing it? Her name is Bobby and she became famous on TikTok and she's young and she's married and she's from Laguna and she has 3 kids and she does this she had kind of had an awkward persona and she blew up on TikTok and then she got a podcast and then she got to interview all these huge stars. I've talked a little bit about her, but basically she does this persona of acting like she has no idea who this famous person is.
Right.
And doesn't really care and talks about innocuous things that don't matter. So maybe that's why stars go, because it's a safe place. Like no one's going to ask them hard questions like, oh, so what do you think about P. Diddy's sexual accusation? I mean, she's not going to ask that. Right. She's going to be like, so I heard you like Kool-Aid. Yeah. Why do you like Kool-Aid? What color do you like? It's kind of like that. So anyway, I just kind of was seeing if she was still popping. And I saw that her last interview was with Jessica Alba. And the clip that she posted was about, she says, so Jessica, I see you have a big spider outside. And then Jessica's like, yeah, I don't kill spiders. And she's like, why don't you kill spiders? I don't like spiders. They might mate and have more spider babies.
Uh-huh.
And
I know.
I just want to read the comments, but go ahead. Some of the comments were.
How did this broad get famous?
And what podcast? How did this broad get famous? Podcasts have become boring. Everyone on here must have never seen Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Well,
which is a little bit of this Clueless, but Zach does it a billion times better.
Is also 7 minutes
and hilarious. And the star is in on it,
right?
And the star is participating in Zach's funny questions, and those clips live in infamy and like make me die forever.
I will go to my grave on my final words on my deathbed. I will say I just do not get Bobby Altoff. I do not get it. I don't understand it. I know people have told me it's an act and she's doing a bit. I saw her on the Today Show doing her real person, and then they told her, now do the act, and she just switches into the monotone voice.
Well, that is where I think she made her mistake.
I know.
Okay, so I reached out to I'm not going to say who it is just in case he comes on the show.
Right.
But I came across this guy. He's a son of a famous person.
Okay.
And he did the funniest, like making fun of being a kid that's of a famous parents.
I know what you're talking about.
So anyway, I reached out and I was like, I think this is so clever and I love your sense of humor. Are you ever in LA? Love to have a Juicy Scoop. And he's like, thank you so much, but I'm going to kind of stick with this character and this thing that I'm doing and see where it goes.
Right.
And I wrote, I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
I think that you should do that and see where it goes. I think her mistake is that she did the magic revealed.
Right.
And it's like, listen, it's like the Andy Kaufman thing. Look up Andy Kaufman if you don't know people, but like he had this persona, this weird character. And people didn't know what's real, what's not. Are you that? Da 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 da. And he kept it going. And even when he died, people thought it was maybe another part of his big prank.
Yeah.
Now, he's a brilliant comedian, and she. I'm not saying she's not brilliant, but she's a Gen Z with a TikTok attention span. And I think that was bad advice. I think she should have stuck with her weird character, and we should have never known that it wasn't a character,
right?
In my opinion,
I kind of agree with that. But you also know that she became famous on TikTok because she has 2 different sized breasts. Like they're a very big difference between the size of her breasts.
And she talked about it,
and that's how she became famous on TikTok. She would talk about her different size. I don't know if that was an act because it's like one's like this and one is like this.
Well,
after her kids. I guess.
People. I don't know. People have that a lot.
Yeah, no,
that's
I know.
Why some people have to get boob jobs.
I did a bit of a deep dive on her, and I found that was before she went to do the podcast.
That's where she got. That's where she popped and got 5 million followers.
Yeah,
yeah,
and then created this character.
Well, hey, if you like listening to it, great. If you want to go on it and know that you're not going to get any hard questions that are going to haunt you.
But how many times can you watch it? Like
I don't know.
It's a character
it's a
after
shtick.
3 or 4
you get
episodes, you're like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
How
many people are sticking
with it. The longevity.
With it. Yeah.
I don't know what the longevity is, but I just thought, people try things and can't blame them if you're getting the offers and you're getting the people and like go for it, I guess.
It's not my world anymore. It's what I say about it. It's just not my world. I let it all happen. I've got to step aside, old timer, and let all this happen.
Go
what
for
am I going to do?
Hey, there's enough for everybody. Yeah. You can be a huge Bobby fan.
Matt Rife, this girl, everybody enjoy yourself.
What are your thoughts on Matt Rife? I talked about him last week.
I listened to your podcast about it.
Thank you. Thank you for subscribing.
No problem. My thoughts on it are, it's a comedian doing a joke. It's, of course, comedians are going to be offensive from time to time. That's just the way it is.
Well, I went on a deep dive about the things that really matter to the Juicy Scoopers.
Right.
There's a lot of women that follow and a lot of women that are upset by it. And I did find out that it is my strong opinion, after doing all the research.
Right.
The most important thing people want to know is, yes, he got jaw filler. Yes, he did. Plastic surgery. That's what we really care about.
But I also listened to your podcast, and when you said, and I agree with you.
Plastic surgery is an interest of mine, but
I heard you say that. But you also said that faces do change, especially at that time of your life. Like everyone's face changes from 23 to 28.
I agree, but just trust me.
Oh, yeah?
I don't care. I say that's what made him pop. It's the same, Dolly Parton's super famous, but she was like the first person to get a boob job in history, and it made her famous. Kylie Jenner was one of the first people that made lip filler like getting your teeth cleaned. And you know what I mean? And she used it. So I think in my opinion, and I think he didn't think it was going to make him pop so much, but he got his teeth done, which is always a great thing to do. And he got definitely this filled right here.
Really?
And it really makes a difference. And it just makes a difference. He looks really good. And he's the comic with a good jawline, just like Kylie Jenner with the lips.
This is the one I don't understand.
Yes.
Oh, the jokes aside, the offensive jokes, the whatever you think of as comedy, I don't understand he's good luck. When did that become a parameter for comedy? Like, it's so weird to me that is the fallback on this one. I could watch him because the reason why he's so violent is because he's good looking. I'm like, but that's not a comedy thing.
But that's why he is
but
saying.
There's been good looking comedians before.
Right. And then, Chris Franjola.
Exactly. Nobody's coming out to see me.
No, but I think that's why part of him being like, I don't want to pander to my female audience is because he was a comedian. He had a decent amount of success. He was on a TV show when he didn't have his jawline and he didn't have good teeth. So he wasn't, living in a mansion, but he was like getting gigs. Yeah. Okay. Like that's already half the battle, right? Had an agent probably. Yeah. So I think he was like, okay, now that I've really popped, I don't want it to be that it's just girls who like my jawline and that I'm worked out. I want it to be that I'm still this really funny guy that guys find funny too. So I think that's why he's saying that. And he's being that good looking that now the people with pretty privilege are like, it's hard. No one's taking me serious, I
mean, it is. Yeah. It is funny to me that everybody's like, wow, women like him because he's good looking. I'm like, and that's like saying every woman has the mentality of like a bowling alley waitress. You know what I mean? Like, hey, he's good looking, so I go watch him. Like, there are certain women who like good comedy too. Not that I'm saying he's bad. I've never watched a special, but I don't think the good look. It's just very strange to me that that's the one thing everyone goes back to. Well, he's good looking. I don't understand it.
Right. And I think that, the same thing.
Right.
I think girls may have found, I think there's a lot of people came to my stand-up shows because they discovered Juicy Scoop and then they started to see stand-up. They'd never gone to a stand-up show before. I kind of introduced them to going to clubs and stuff. And I kind of think he's one of those people too that many young girls had never stepped into an improv or a comedy club or whatever.
True.
And then they're like, well, this is the one person I like and know. And I think he's funny and I follow him. And I mean, and his crowd work is really funny. And I think that they enjoyed seeing him. You don't think the crowd work's funny?
I've seen better, like crowd work now is just because it's the thing. It's hot. It's all over TikTok and Instagram. I mean, but the crowd work is not that good. I mean, I see better crowd work on a Wednesday night at the Improv. Like, I know guys who do real good crowd work. Watch Todd Glass and these guys. They're not on TikTok, but you see them in a club. Their crowd work is unbelievable. There's so many guys whose crowd work is...
Jessica Kershaw is
everybody,
the best.
There's so many that are 10 times better at crowd work.
Where that is really like their art. Yeah.
But your crowd work used to be a thing when we were starting out that was frowned upon. Like, if you did crowd work, it meant you didn't have material.
Right. You're right.
I know. So people are like, he does crowd work. Forget him. But now it's like, God, if you don't do crowd work, I do crowd work, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But
I do a little because I'm always just like, well, I have all these great stories I want to tell you. Like, I want to get to the material or whatever. But I also never really worked on it. So I don't feel like it's my forte. Like I said, I cannot be good at everything, people.
Right. And it can also get away from you in a hurry, crowd work, especially when you're playing larger venues.
Right.
Matt Rife must be pissed off because people are coming to be in the show. So they got their rehearsed bit that they're going to yell out. And that once it's rehearsed, it's gone.
Yes.
So I don't know.
For the audience rehearsing.
For the audience, the audience tries to be fun. If the person you're doing crowd work tries to be funny, it ruins the whole bit.
Right.
So,
anyway. Agree. Okay. So, P. Diddy, there was a lot of lawsuits that came after P. Diddy settled with Cassie for $30 million. More people came out. His bodyguard is now, I just saw on Perez Hilton, the bodyguard is speaking.
Did he speak for him or against him? I saw that he spoke.
Well, it depends how you see it. He said, I helped him have sex with gay men.
Oh, the bodyguard said that?
According to Perez Hilton and all these interviews that he's speaking, former bodyguard, obviously.
Yeah.
Imagine if he's still the bodyguard. Right. Like, by the way, just went and did an interview with Perez Hilton. I'm going to be a little bit late getting your Starbucks.
Yeah.
So there's so many, but I'll just explain. You're probably like, why was it just an influx of article after article over the long Thanksgiving weekend?
People getting old lawsuits coming up.
So
Axl
it's
Rose.
actors, musicians, politicians are facing sexual assault allegations because of New York's Adult Survivors Act, which allows survivors of sexual assault to file civil suits within 1 year of this window. So this window is like closing. These allegations have been filed just before the deadline, and some involve past incidents dating back decades. Many of the accused individuals have denied the allegations. The accused have denied, while the alleged victim seeks justice through the legal system. So there's Cuba Gooding. There is Sean Combs. There's Guns N' Roses. Axl Rose was named in a lawsuit Wednesday from an actress model named Sheila Kennedy. There's some of these people are Jane Doe's. Yeah. Andrew Cuomo, Mayor Eric Adams from a sexual assault from 1993.
Steven Tyler.
Jamie Foxx, from a plaintiff from 2015, said that he groped her in a bar.
Yeah.
2015. Let me see who else is in here. Bill Cosby, he's back again. That comes from that was under this law. The latest thing of him, Donald Trump, Harvey Weinstein. I mean, all these people are coming. There's more coming out because of this deadline. There's too many, and I'm not interested in covering them all.
Right.
But that's the deal.
So
there's so much about Diddy. And nobody is sticking up for him.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing. I don't see.
And then he posted a video of him dancing around like, I'm still standing after. And he's just like dancing around, or one of those songs of like, you know.
Yeah. Like
anyway,
he's an empowerment song. He's saying, I'm not sweating any of this.
I mean, and then there's a lot of things that go deeper with conspiracy theories and stuff about two other women, that were supposedly going to talk about him that have both unusually died. There's
really?
It's a lot of people that in his circle that have weird dying of pneumonia.
Oh, yeah?
Heart conditions in your sleep.
Yeah.
Things that could cause death in your sleep or a heart condition. Like maybe you could be injected with something or given something, and then all of a sudden you've, got real sick before your book comes out. There's stuff like that. There's a lot out there. You can go search it.
Can I still wear my Sean Combs glasses? I have Sean Combs glasses.
He did a sunglass line?
A line? No, it's not sunglasses. Prescription. He had a line of glasses at America's Best Optometry. That's where I get my glasses, America's Best. And the funny thing is, his line of Sean Combs glasses were replaced by Jamie Foxx. Now he has a line. Preview or something. I have a pair of those as well.
I
might have to go over to the Randy Jackson section. And I'm not kidding. There is one.
Where, in which store?
And it's called America's Best. It's like an optometry place. It's like for poor people. But I used to, when the times were tough, I went over there it's one of those places where like 2 pairs of glasses for $100. And then when you finally get it done, you're like, you want this, you want that? Like $700. I'm like, what about the $200? I was like, oh, that's not real. That's just to get you in the door.
Just to lure you in.
Right, yeah.
It's an awful lure you in. And I think it's one of the biggest scams in Las Vegas. There's a lot in Las Vegas, but they're everywhere. And there are these storefronts.
Okay.
That they're like every time I go back, it's a different thing, but it's the same scam.
Yeah.
And you walk by and there's a cute girl there. And she's like, hi, would you like some free eye cream?
Oh, that's a scam.
Right. And then you go, sure. And then they go, wait. I can give you more samples. Just come on and I'll give you more samples.
Right.
So then you're like, sure, who doesn't want more like free samples for travel, right?
Okay.
So then you walk in and they're like, wait, just sit down. I'm going to show you something. And they like put some stuff on your eye. And I mean, maybe it's a temporary drawing. I don't know. But all of a sudden you're like, oh, you're right. It does kind of look like less wrinkly, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, so this is what it does, blah, 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 blah. And, to get the whole set, after you've wasted 30 minutes to kick out, they're like, it's going to be $895. And you're like, oh, well, then forget that. Well, no, we could also, you could just do this for $250. You could just do this. It's kind of like a timeshare.
Oh,
where finally, you're like, what do I have to do just to get the fuck out of here?
I know.
But oftentimes, I've bought it once years ago.
Oh, you fell for it.
I know people that have bought it. Then you get it home. And it's kind of like also when you buy wine at a winery in the afternoon and you're like, this is the most delicious red wine I've ever had. And then by the time it gets to your house and you open it up, you're like,
I've made that mistake.
This isn't that great, you know? It's like, so then you get home and you start using it and you're like, wait a minute, now I put makeup on it and it's like crackling. And anyway, it's one of those type of lure you in.
Yeah, lure you in. And it's never,
I mean, supposedly P. Diddy lured in Usher. He was supposedly Usher lived with him for a while. And then there's awkward videos of him and Justin Bieber where he's like, you don't come over and hang out with me anymore.
Really?
Yeah. And Justin's like, yeah, I don't know. I have your number. I've been busy. Oh my God. Like the videos that are out there, like they're nothing that's like concrete.
Right.
But it is very suspicious. And, you know, and that definitely he always had guns around and this and that. That's been
And
like,
what's his situation now? Is he married? Does he have a wife or kids? He's got kids, right?
He has kids that I think are like older. Teenagers or older. And so I don't know what's up. But you know, I don't know that people are going to be going to the P. Diddy New Year's Eve party.
A couple of weeks ago, the only problem he had was, remember, he wore a Batman costume that was too real looking, and Warner Brothers was going to sue him or something because.
Really? I didn't hear about that.
And that was like his biggest problem 2 weeks ago.
I wonder what's up if J-Lo is going to come around. Because remember, like J-Lo was hanging out with him. Remember when J-Lo was wearing
white
like
bandana J-Lo,
white jeans?
Yeah,
and there was some gun play that happened that she was like in the middle of.
Yeah, they were going to something in an airport, a nightclub
or something. And then I think that's when she was like, all right, I think I got everything I needed out of this relationship. I got this much more famous and you need to scuttle away.
Anyway, Ben Affleck seems thrilled with the relationship right now. Every video I see, he just looks. And there's a new one now where he gets out of the car. He just looks so miserable.
Well, there was a photo of them just recently over the weekend where they're kissing while trying out a new couch at a furniture store.
Yeah.
All right. We're supposed to believe that Ben and Jen need to go
to Ethan Allen
and try out couches on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a designer that can bring in couches or like say, come, we're going to shut down the store for you.
Right.
Let's, no. So I think she is still a thirsty bitch.
Yeah.
And she wants to definitely get these photos taken of candid moments of us being normal and doing things. And I think that's why he's miserable because he would rather never leave the house. Like most men would rather never leave the house.
Yeah.
They don't want to go shopping. They don't want to do shit like that.
Right.
And especially when you're famous.
Yeah.
Like we have a $60 million house in Palos Verdes. We could build our own Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts here.
Right.
We could create our own furniture store outside and pretend to shop in it. Like why do we have to go out?
Did they get a couch?
I don't know if they bought one or not, but they got the photos of them on it. Tiffany Haddish got a DUI.
Again.
The morning. Yeah, she had one in another state, very similar circumstance where she, so they found her in the middle of a street with a car running and it was like parked, but it was like parked in the middle of the street at 5:45 a.m. and she had passed out. And when they got to her, they realized she was drunk. So
this
she got a DUI. This is
recently.
LA the morning after Thanksgiving.
Right.
And then, but the one that happened in, I think, Illinois or something, was another state, was same thing. Found her parked in the middle of a street, passed out.
Really?
So that was her. So this is her second. This is her second DUI. So her thing is that I guess she gets really drunk and decides to drive home, and then it's just like I'm going to pass out, or maybe she parks the car and is like I'm going to take a quick nap. I don't know, but she doesn't park it like in a lot or anything. Anyway, she got up on stage. And someone's like asked about how she's doing, whatever. And she's like, well, I asked God to find me a man with a job and a uniform, and I met him last night. Ha ha.
Pretty good joke.
Decent joke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When she was on Ellen, she made a joke about her first DUI.
Yeah.
Where she's like, stands for dumb things. Dumb things. What did she say? Stands for dumb, unfortunate incidents.
Yeah.
That's what that was her joke on Ellen. I mean, I guess keep doing your sets. I was her close friend.
I like Tiffany.
I'm not. I do too. I would say this is what I think she should do.
Yeah.
I do think she should go to rehab. And I do think that she should stop doing shows, go to rehab and get your head clear and come back with the best hour of stand-up about becoming sober, going to AA meetings, and all the crazy drunk shit that you've done.
Right.
That now you realize was crazy drunk shit, and you could make really funny.
Yeah.
And that would be like inspirational. It would win you over and get you back into the place that you were a couple years ago when you didn't kind of take every job and oversaturate yourself.
Trip.
Yeah, like I think this will be a nice reset for her. But I think acting like it's no big deal and going on, people are going to dislike you, but also you're just going to stay like this. Like if you were to really pop and improve your life, give up the alcohol, go to rehab, write an hour about that.
I agree. I also think that I felt like she was going, whoever's guiding her career kind of did. I felt she could have went the Monique route. Like she could have went into like serious roles and won an Oscar. I really feel like she was that kind of actress.
If the right role came, that was really.
And she just went and did like really bad movies. And, outside of Girls Trip, I don't think anything was a hit really.
I think she was one of those people because she had, and I'm not totally sure, but I know she struggled. Mm-hmm. In a low income home. I want to believe that she even was in foster care. I think she's had a tough childhood.
Right.
And so I think once she got jobs and money, she was that person that was like, I'm not turning down anything.
Yeah, probably. And
I'm not going to turn down anything. And I'm thrilled to get everything, which is not, a bad way to be. But then when you really could be a star, then you got to have people be like, we got to be a little more selective,
Right.
And I feel like, so that I think that she still could, and there's plenty of time, but I think it's got to almost like she's got to reinvent herself and be like, this was my past life. And I drank and I did this and all this because I had this hard childhood. Right. And I didn't know how to accept being a rich and famous person. Now I'm sober. And this is my new perspective. And it'll be a really interesting perspective that will only be hers. You know?
I agree. That's a good call. But she's a nice lady. I like her a lot. She's always pretty down to earth and nice.
Yeah.
But she's been in trouble with, remember if she did like a New Year's Eve show where she was really drunk and people complained?
No, I didn't
know. A couple of years ago, she couldn't even like finish a sentence. And that was an issue. And now these. So it's obviously the drinking needs to stop.
Yeah. Time to let it go, girl. Kim Kardashian can take her spot in starring in female movies. Move over, Girls Trip. Tiffany Haddish. There's a new star in town. Her name's Kim Kardashian. She is. There was a big bidding war. The thing hasn't even been written yet. It's Netflix got the deal.
Female driven.
That's all. I think it could be maybe all female, maybe not. It's the fifth wheel. So maybe it's not all girls. Maybe Kim is playing the fifth wheel of two couples. I don't know.
Kim's going to be the comedy
She's starring in it. Mm-hmm. Kim Kardashian and two co-writers came up with the concept, which is Paula Pell, who has written a lot of things and maybe met her on SNL, whatever, and Janine Brito. So now they're going to write it, but they pitched it and they sold it and she's going to be in it.
Wow.
And good for them. And I would buy it too if I was Netflix. Like you have solid, female comedy writers and she won't be the whole movie, but even if she's one part of it, imagine the free marketing you get just by having the Kardashians push it.
Somebody better get Melissa McCarthy on the phone quick. Somebody that carry that movie. Tina Fey.
All the people from Bridesmaids.
I would call
every single bridesmaid person and be like, what? Let's talk. Let's create a character for you.
Yeah.
Let's get all of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Where has been who's the star of Bridesmaids? The main star.
Oh God, what's her name? She's so played
funny.
The Target lady and
I feel like have we not seen her and stuff?
She had kids.
No, she didn't.
I think she did. Wasn't she married to the guy from The Strokes or something? The band The Strokes.
Anyway,
what the hell's her name?
I feel like we have not. How do we not know her name? I know people are screaming in their car right now.
Somebody just yelled it. That's
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. Thank you.
Kristen Wiig is so funny and pretty and clever. And I don't think she's like gone off the face of the earth. But like, I'd love to see her in something. But she's probably really selective. She's probably very selective about what she does because she can be.
Yeah.
Okay. So North is trying to be a stand-up. She's an insult comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
She was rude to her mom, saying her mom's Met Gala outfit looked cheap and tacky right in front of the designer.
Oh, no.
And this was all caught on camera for the Hulu show. And Kim was like, that's really not a great way to say it. She's like, well, how do you want me to say it? And Kim goes, you could say, I don't really know if that's the best choice for you. And then North goes, I don't really think that's the best choice for you, Mom. How was that?
Oh.
And she can mimicking. She's, and then some of the comments were like Kim realizing that she has to deal with Kanye West for the rest of her life.
Yeah, right. She should see some of her dad's outfits. She thinks Kim's are bad.
Well, then she made fun of Pete Davidson, who was her date. And she said he's not working at a gas station. He's going to the Met Ball, which made me think, he must have been wearing one of the gas station jumpsuits that were all the rage of hot 2021 and 22.
They had a couple. I saw them in Target recently.
They're still back. They're still around. Yeah, the men are wearing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, whatever. It's easy. Zip it right up. Head out the door.
It's like, the Jiffy Lube. I don't think the Jiffy Lube people have shirts and pants, but it's like
just a jumpsuit.
It's a jumpsuit. It's like you're working as a mechanic.
Yeah.
Why do the jumpsuits work so well for mechanics?
I think it just coveralls, they used to call them. It just covers all your regular clothes. I think that was the case.
So you just jump into it and then leave it at the work.
Yes.
Oh.
I think.
Or you go on tour as a female stand-up.
That seems to be all the rage right now. Yeah. Oh, boy.
It's a uniform. Anyway, meanwhile, Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, was going to just do a one-off and dance with her mom. And she's doing a couple dances, on stage with her. Pink has her daughter up there singing. A lot of people bringing their kids up. And anyway, she found the hate pages about her.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
As have I.
Isn't the internet fun?
And read all the mean comments.
Right.
And instead of curling up and dying, she got dance lessons.
And
she got better.
Good.
And she improved.
All right.
And they discuss it in, I guess, the latest Beyonce movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad she, a lot of the criticism you get online, sometimes you just let them go. It's hard for me to she could just, do dancing and get better at it.
Yeah.
Some people critique the things about me that I can't change. It's genetic, people.
I know. Which again, maybe because Matt Rife is so good looking, maybe that's the other thing. When people criticize my looks, I'm like, did I ever say I was a model?
Right.
Did I ever, am I ever trying to win
the
most beautiful girl on the cover of People magazine? No, I'm a comedian and a writer and a podcaster.
I'm doing the best with what I've been given.
Yeah.
By my parents or whoever genetically blessed me with what I got, and there's some quirks.
Right.
I do my best to.
And listen, my parents raised me to believe that I am better looking than I am.
They did?
They made me believe that.
How so? Just by saying you're beautiful?
Telling me I'm the greatest thing on earth? And I know people are very angry that I chose to believe those parents.
Uh-huh.
So take it up with them. They're in heaven. Be mad at them for instilling confidence and self-worth. That I'm sorry that I like myself. I'm sorry that
you have great hair.
That I don't put black tape on the mirrors in my home. I don't mind looking at it.
What, all
sorry
the
that
time?
you mind looking at it.
I put a mirror at the end of one of our hallways.
Yeah.
And now I walk down the hallway to my bedroom. I could see myself walking. And I don't like I've never really saw myself walking before. And I don't like the way so I took the mirror down. I'm like, I can't see myself walking. I have weird, my legs kick out. So I took it down.
Do what's right for you, boo.
Thank you.
If that means, muting people, not following people, not looking at sites that are, not flattering to yourself, or the mirror, or get plastic surgery so you do enjoy looking in the mirror more. Whatever works. We have to stay on this earth until AI takes it over. Oh, did you hear about the latest AI thing?
Well, all of it is just a nightmare.
I thought this was pretty juicy.
But at this point, am I missing something? Or at this point, all I see is AIs that could make myself cuter in pictures. Like, download this AI app and you could make yourself look better in a picture. Or put yourself in a suit. And look.
Well, there's all that.
Yeah, but that's AI?
Oh, yeah. But there's a lot of things that AI can do. Because it is really thinking like a human. But the problem is this guy that was like the head of this AI chat or whatever. Yeah. he spoke in front of like this board or whatever saying, we have to stop this one element of AI. Otherwise, it could be detrimental to humanity. And then they fired him.
Yeah.
And then 700 of the 770 employees said, we're all going to leave unless you hire him back because what he's saying is fucking true and it's scary.
Right.
So everyone's like, what is this? And it's that they discovered, this is like straight out of a movie.
It's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, they discovered that it can do a math thing that has never been discovered before.
Right.
So it's actually smarter than a human now.
Yeah.
So everything that it's done, whether it's writing or photography or whatever, is going off of information that they've put into it that we already have.
Right.
And now they're saying we're getting to a level where they know more than we do. So that is where
Didn't you people see War Games with Matthew Broderick when the computers were going to let loose the nuclear bomb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, as we come to the end of the world.
Well, the other thing I read, I mean, I don't know, all of this is just so terrifying, especially if you have kids, young kids.
I know.
It's like, oh my God. I mean, what? My wife talks about, we got to start a college fund. I'm like, college fund? Who cares? There'll be 9 million things to do her papers or whatever. College fund.
And even if she doesn't go to college, she can go get her MBA at Harvard.
Yeah.
How is it that everybody can go to Harvard?
Well,
everybody's like, oh, guess what? Enrolled in Harvard.
Yeah.
Online. Anyone can get a job. Anyone can graduate from Harvard now. Like,
I guess
it's weird. Anyway, go on.
But anyway, it's just like I feel like the internet. We started it. And I think it's gotten out of our hands. You know what I mean? Like, I think we started it in the hopes of it'll make people smarter. Well, because if you wanted to, you can go on the internet, you can learn Chinese, you can learn a language, you can learn 10 languages.
Well,
but nobody does. We just go on there and call each other fat. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of languages, that's the same thing when people go, remember when, you'd be learning math at school and they'd be like, you got to learn these multiplication tables because you're not going to be walking around one day and always have a calculator next to you. And someone's like, well, now we do.
Yeah.
We have a phone with always having a calculator. I feel the same way about learning language in school.
Yeah.
Like, so most kids, at least in California, if you want to even apply to UC schools, you got to take 2 or 3 years of foreign language.
Right.
And all the kids take it, and most of them don't do anything with it and don't know anything, but they memorize the words and they got a B and whatever. And now with the phone, you can do that too. You can talk into the phone with your 90-day fiance and have them say, and learn all these languages.
Google Translate.
So I'm kind of like, I really do think schools need to sit down and like go, okay, what is really important that we teach these kids?
Right.
And I do think more like life lessons, fixing things, figuring out how things work and all that kind of stuff.
I'm an trained electrician. I've been saying this forever. That's not going away. You're going to need electricians to even hook up AI shit.
Right.
Somebody's got to plug this in. And now I don't know if you read this story, they're bringing back the woolly mammoth. It's exactly Jurassic Park. Something in Texas.
Wait,
they have lab.
That's the woolly mammoth is from Mammoth Mountain. So at one time, I guess it lived in Mammoth, right?
Well, they got it. It's coming back. They did the same thing in Jurassic Park. They found some blood. They put it. They're going to be able to breathe, and they're moving ahead with it.
But
bringing back the woolly mammoth.
But he's not a dinosaur, so who cares?
It is a dinosaur.
Well, it would be good for Mammoth Mountain to have that mammoth be walking around to get people to want to go
but I think
travel there.
All right. Well, fine. If you want the woolly mammoth back.
How big is it?
It's gigantic. It's a big, giant, hairy elephant. Haven't you seen a woolly mammoth?
I went to the Living Desert Zoo this weekend.
Okay.
And, I did not spend a lot of time at zoos because I was always working. So my mother-in-law would always take my kids and stuff. So I just can't believe what I missed out on.
No, it's great.
I mean, it's so cute. It's so great.
What did you see? What animals?
I got to feed a hippo.
Yeah. Be careful.
And touch it.
Really?
Yes.
The hippos are angry animals.
I know. Well, wow. I had a little VIP situation going on.
Okay.
And then we fed a giraffe.
Wow.
And that was really fun. And saw jaguars. And
yeah.
They're like, here, we found this jaguar in an apartment in someone's apartment in South Africa or something.
Well, that's always the case. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was really fun.
Just like we had to send, we sent all the panda bears back. We don't have any panda bears in America anymore. We had several panda bears in zoos around.
In San Diego and stuff.
Yeah, and they sent them all back to China because I guess they were donated from China.
And they wanted them back.
It ran out and we sent them back. So now we have no panda bears. And I said, well, somebody in the Bronx has a panda bear in their apartment. When they get evicted, they got to find a real panda bear in there. I'm like, how'd you get that? I don't know. Some guy gave it to me.
Amazing.
There's definitely a panda bear somewhere in America.
Kanye and Bianca, we thought they were taking a break. We thought an intervention stuck. No, she's out in a bikini top and another weird outfit, enjoying him while he was singing an aggressive song about effing a Jewish girl.
I heard that, yeah.
So that's a new hit for him.
Good.
Let's talk about the Hall and Oats.
I mean, now finally a topic I can
watch out, boy,
get
she'll
on board.
Chew you up. Whoa, here she comes.
I mean, who doesn't love Hall and Oats? I mean,
they've been a team forever.
Many hits since the 70s. The most successful duo of all time.
Yes.
Hall and Oats, and listen.
John is suing because Daryl Hall's
suing John Oates.
Sorry, Daryl Hall filed a lawsuit against his partner John Oates, alleging that Oates planned to sell his share of their joint venture, which would violate their business agreement. And a Nashville judge has issued a temporary restraining order blocking the sale until legal proceedings and arbitration are complete, while the lawsuit publicly released versions. It pertains to confidential terms. Okay, so
they still
what happened?
They still toured together. At least they did last summer. They did a couple of shows together, but they also toured separately. And what I had heard was Daryl Hall does not want John Oates singing certain songs in his solo shows. So he was angry about that. And that's what initially started this lawsuit. I hadn't heard about the fact that he was planning on selling his catalog.
It's like that all makes sense. Like when Suzanne Summers left Three's Company, she started to do a nightclub act. And they were like, you cannot do the character of Suzanne Summers.
Right.
We own that character. So that's when she kind of was like, okay, I guess I better start singing and selling Thigh Masters, And then, if you own the right, if you are the writer of the song of the group, then you can say, well, if we ever break up, you can't go to Vegas and sing these songs. I wrote it. So that is what this probably comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, every band does this to each other. They all sue each other for, I wrote this, you wrote that, I mean, Creedence Clearwater Revival, they sued John Fogerty, who was the lead singer. They sued John Fogerty because he was going on tour and they said, he sounds too much like Creedence. He can't sing those songs. And he's like, well, I am. I can't. That's who I sing the songs. I can't sound any other way.
Yeah.
But they all, it's crazy. But everybody's upset because everyone wants Hall and Oates to get along. But apparently Daryl Hall seems like kind of an asshole. I watched some of Bill Maher's podcast.
Is the dark-haired, which one?
Dark-haired John Oates. Oh. Daryl Hall's the taller blonde one.
Who's the dick, you think?
I think Daryl Hall's a dick. I saw him solo recently. I went to the Wiltern to see him solo, and he is not happy.
And he was singing the Hall and Oates songs.
He sings the Hall and Oates songs, but according to him,
she's a man-eater.
Yeah, he's like, I wrote everything. He's just... If you got to watch it, if you're interested in this, he's on Bill Maher's podcast.
Daryl Hall is the cuter one.
Yeah, sure.
And he's the one who says, I wrote it.
That's what he's saying.
And therefore, he filed a lawsuit against John Oates because Oates wants to sell his share.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people doing this now, they're selling their catalogs and for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
At this point,
nobody's
selling records anymore.
And you've got, 15 years left on this earth.
And they're all older men now. They're like, I can't be touring forever at 75. So I'll sell $400 million. I'll sell the catalog and let them put it in commercials or whatever else they want to do with it. How
do you sell half a catalog when it's both of you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how that one would work, but. Yeah, he can't sell.
That's why it's a big mess.
That's why it's a big mess. Yeah. So,
and I guess they aren't friends right now.
Well, they never have been. According to Daryl Hall, he says
it's like when I found out Laverne and Shirley never liked each other.
I know, and that's kind of what I listened to him on Bill Maher's podcast. And Bill Maher's like, "Oh, we want to believe you guys are friends. Nobody wants to hear you're not friends. And
no one wants to hear that you do the concert and then you go in separate directions to your hotel room. We want to think that you got in, hung out, drank together, had fun.
My greatest day in Los Angeles, I was eating lunch. Don and Melrose is eating lunch, and in the place I was eating lunch, I saw Daryl Hall Same day, about 3 hours later, I was shopping somewhere and I saw John Oates. Separate locations, same day. I saw Hall & Oates, same day, 2 separate locations.
It's clearly not together.
Clearly not together. Yeah, they don't hang out, so.
I always hoped and prayed that they were lovers. That's not an option.
Well, if you look at some of the early pictures of them in the 70s, it must be so embarrassing for them to look back on some of these pictures in the 70s where they're just like shirtless laying on each other and stuff. But no, they're both heterosexual.
They were always both hetero.
Yeah, they have kids and married and all that.
Well, maybe that's what should have happened.
Yeah.
Maybe if they'd become lovers, they'd be still getting along. Speaking of lovers, this is the...
I always thought they were lovers.
I always thought the Property Brothers were a couple that just looked a lot alike.
Which happens sometimes.
Which totally, but no, they're twin brothers. One's a realtor, one is the person that flips the houses.
Yeah.
And they are, along with a lot of other people on HGTV, are facing lawsuits. They come in and they flip someone's house. And this one couple in this particular case were like, since 2019, they came in to do our dream house in Las Vegas.
Right.
And the work was shoddy. The girl's still cooking on a hot plate on her patio. Everything was done crappy. The electrical didn't work. The stove doesn't work. This and that.
Right.
And I've heard that over the years. I remember like that one where there was move that bus. Yeah. And then they'd give these people
Ty Pennington
this big fancy house. And then they really didn't have the funds to keep it up. And if there was anything like wrong with it, they also didn't have the funds to fix it.
Right.
And, it's the same thing with the Swan. Remember the Swan?
Yes. Oh.
They give people facelifts and new noses and all this stuff, but then they'd also give them like hair extensions and stuff. Yeah. But then they go back and they have to work at the Dairy Queen. There's one just hair extension. They can't afford to keep the upkeep.
A lot of upkeep.
Yeah, they can't keep the Botox and the filler going. Right. Like now they're just stuck. I remember 2 of them got together and they had the ugliest baby.
Yeah, because genetically, that's
even though they both had great cheekbones, that kid looked like it broke out of an egg and a dinosaur.
I have a friend who got his ears pinned back. He had real big ears like this, and he got his ears pinned back, and now his kids are like, oh boy, got to pin those back.
Anyway, I guess the comments are like, I've heard this with everybody.
But this must be a sign off. They must have a sign off thing when they do these houses. Like,
they must. But at the same time, if the damage is so much that, it's actually costing you money. Like it, if they said a sink fell through the ground, it was like really bad stuff. You'd think that they would, and then of course these things take so long, but there's a new scripted show coming out with Emma Stone they're playing a couple like a Joanna and Chip Gaines that go around the country and do this.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a Truman Show where they're filming the reality show and all the shit that really goes on, but it's a scripted show, which sounds totally genius
good.
Idea because there's so many.
Didn't one of these guys marry Zooey Deschanel? He did.
Did they?
Yeah, he just got married to Zooey Deschanel. They're married.
Yeah.
Property brother and the girl from Elf.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Now, this was a weird, sad story. This girl was obsessed with true crime.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see where she was from. But she was just curious and wanted to see what it would be like to kill somebody. So South Korean woman. So she acted like she was a mom looking for a tutor for her child. And then she met this woman and killed her and dismembered her body out of curiosity. And then when they went and they saw that she was obsessed with it, all of her, content on her computer were all these videos of murder and true crimes and TV programs and books and all this stuff. And so she actually wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I like true crime.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to kill somebody. But one thing I do is I am obsessively watching cooking TikToks.
Oh yeah,
and recipes and all that shit.
Yeah. Do you want to be?
I'm the opposite of this girl. I don't do any of it.
Oh, I don't. Watch.
I just watch it. I save them. Right. I send them to my sister, and then I never make it.
Yeah. All right. I mean, at least
but thank God I'm not that way about crime.
Yeah. There was recently a dismemberment right here in Tarzana. I know you talked about it on your podcast. Yeah.
Yes, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I guess he's behind bars. I don't know if there's any update on that.
I don't know if they ever found the parents. Did you hear if they ever found the parents?
I don't know. I don't think they have found the parents.
I had heard, they found the wife, and he was arrested for all three.
Yes, because the parents and the parents' car are missing.
Yeah, right. Anyways, right here. Happened right here.
Right. Tarzana, yeah.
And it was a dismemberment as well. And I always think about the dismemberment. I'm like, I feel like that would be a lot. Like the murder is fine, but the cutting.
The fact that someone can just be like, I got to do it. I just got to power through it. It's the only way I'm going to get out of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I always think. And then I'm just going to compartmentalize it. And once I stick it all in the suitcase and throw it over the bridge, then I'm just going to take a shower and go to Fridays and have potato skins. But
how do you get the bone? I feel like the bone's a problem. Like what do you use to get through that?
Why?
Like
so I have to do all that stuff.
Like a bone saw?
And I do feel like shows like Dexter and stuff like that give people ideas. And they do say that the Idaho murder guy was a similar person, obsessed with murder, curious, seeing, I wonder if I can get away with it.
The college students.
Yeah. And then Matt Murphy, who is a former prosecutor who was on my show this past week, he's like, just like anything else, murder you get better with at time. Yeah. With time. And sometimes these people that do murder for the first time really make a lot of fucking mistakes and get caught.
Well, we got a serial killer. They just caught him on Long Island, my hometown of Long Island. They caught the serial killer. Been around Gilco Beach or whatever.
Yeah.
And it had been 12 years or whatever since he done it, but they finally got him. And
so his family is getting, they're going to get a couple $100,000 or $100,000 to participate in a documentary about it.
Right. The wife and the son.
Some people are like, how can that be? Well, the law is you as the criminal murderer, when you murder someone, you can't make money. You can't sell your rights to your story and make $1 million and either give it to your family or whatever. That's what you can't do. But your family who lived with you and didn't know, if there's a documentary and they're like, we'd like you to participate, you can say I will for this much money or not. And that's their right to do it. And so that's sort of interesting that they're participating.
I would like more serial killing on Long Island because the best thing about any crime happening on Long Island is they have to interview people from Long Island on the news. And there's nothing better than watching Long Island people get interviewed.
Why? What do they like?
They're like, oh my God, that could have been me. I freaking walk past his house every day. And this psychopath could have killed my daughters, could have killed me, could have killed my husband, anybody. This is craziness.
They make it about themselves.
Oh my God, it's just amazing the accent that you hear when something happens on Long Island. It's my favorite.
Well, let's hope that nobody else gets killed in Long Island, but this is going on.
On Long Island, once again, they have
a cluster of
up.
Sexually transmitted eye syphilis cases point to one man. So this eye syphilis thing happened, and they realized that with 5 cases reported in women who all shared a common male sex partner.
Oh, wow.
Now, it reminds me of something that you talked about years ago, before you were a father.
Uh-huh.
And I think you know the story. I think you went to the Costco eye doctor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That's an old joke. Yeah. But it's a real,
joke,
really
but
happened.
It's a true story.
It really happened, yeah. And the Costco eye doctor asked if I had feces in my eye.
He said, did you get a little feces in your eye?
I know. And at the time, I didn't have kids or anything. So I was like, well, how would that happen? I thought that was like a bold suggestion on her part, like to go right to that. Like this. Is there other ways it could have happened? She's like, anyone shit on your face? Yeah.
Anyway,
Costco Optical.
It's a big mess, and a lot of people. Syphilis is back on the rise. It's back in.
It's back. They literally have. I'm seeing billboards around town, and apparently there's a rise of it once again on Long Island. And there's like billboards, like be careful, syphilis is red hot again.
Either there's stories that only 1/3 of men under 30 have never had sex, or everyone's getting syphilis.
Right.
Doesn't seem like there's a lot of in between.
No, I know. Yeah, there's nobody just having a good time.
Either people are choosing to live alone and are asexual for the rest of their life,
or run around bloodshot
eyes. Okay, this I thought was interesting. These mean girl fitness influencers were at a gym.
Yeah.
And they did a video where they were mocking the guy working out behind them. And they're like, weird guy. And, they post it. And then somebody reposted it with his comments being like, these girls are fucking horrible. Like, why is this okay? Why can't you're mocking someone going to the gym?
Right.
And so they're done. They're too
That happened to, remember that Playboy Playmate a few years ago?
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. But that she was in a gym bathroom.
Yeah.
And this is a few years ago. And I want to say she was like on a popular radio show. This was a while ago. This was probably like 8 years ago. And she had a popular following. And she took a photo of a naked woman.
An older woman.
An older naked woman in the bathroom of the gym getting ready. And was like, I had to see it. So now you can unsee it.
Yeah.
And I mean, who knows where she is today?
Yeah.
But she's definitely not, on Fuckboy Island or anything.
No,
like she's gone.
As a matter of fact, I think she was lesbian. She went lesbian. I follow her on Instagram. She's married. She went lesbian.
Do you really follow her?
I believe I followed her on Instagram.
Oh my God.
I don't think I do anymore, but there was a time where I did. And she married a woman and they have a nice life.
When I was performing at the Venetian, we went to the spa there. And before we went into the women's bathroom, they said, and no phones. You cannot take your phone out, check it, anything.
Yeah.
Because it's a private place and people are, changing.
Right.
Anyway, I really thought that was great. I think you really have to fucking tell people.
Of course.
I think people are so about filming every single second of every life. And, that like, I'm glad this story came out. And I think people need to be more conscious of but I saw this other girl, she was working out. Mm-hmm. And she's filming herself because that's some people's content. So they put the little phone there and they're like this. And this guy came around and he's like, turn off your fucking phone. I'm in the background and I don't want to be in your video.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, fuck you. And,
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if that's going to be a new thing. If certain gyms are going to be like, no phones allowed.
I think they should. I wouldn't want it.
Yeah. And also because there's the creepy guy gym, like people make fun of other creepy guys in the gym. And yeah. So anyway, it didn't work out for them. They thought they were so funny. And
I work out in my garage like a prisoner, like a con man. I just sit there and do push-ups, just like I'm in the yard.
I'm always so conscious of going to a gym where someone is going to come up and like tell me I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Not someone that works there. Just
that was the worst part.
That was always the worst part. And I'm just like, let me just do it wrong.
Hey, bro, let me show you how to use that machine. Nothing will emasculate you more than some, 23-year-old showing you how to properly use it. Like, oh, thanks.
I remember being blogging to Sports Club LA.
Yeah.
Which I purposely went to because someone said, Heather, if you want to find a rich man, you got to join this gym. So I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't find anybody good.
Remember when that was the hot way to pick up people? The gym. Remember that movie with John Travolta and
Physical.
Perfect. It was called.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
And so then you'd always do that one that was like the advanced thigh master and like do that and work out. And I'd go there like after my day. So I'd go at like 7 and have dinner. And then there was a pool on the roof. And sometimes I'd go there on a Saturday and like, I did get a lot of dates out of it.
Yeah,
I'd always see Michael Bay there, the director.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty good, but I didn't.
Michael Bay's a good one.
I didn't get. I mean, I've been on dates, but nobody that
dates
I liked.
From the gym.
Yes, I got dates from the gym a lot.
Wow. All right.
So it kind of worked out a little bit, just for food.
Yeah.
I mean, not love. Like I mean, yeah.
But whatever, you got a couple lamb chops out of it. I mean.
I had this one guy and he was a twin and he goes, I was part of the Billionaires Boys Club. And I go, what's that?
Remember that?
And he goes, how do you not know that? They made a movie about it. So I went to Blockbuster and I rented the movie.
Yeah.
And it was like a made for TV movie about the Billionaire Boys Club. And then they made a later movie about it. But
Judd Nelson, I think.
Yeah, basically they created this like scam of a company.
Yeah.
And then ended up killing this guy.
Yeah.
But these two twins, they were innocent in it, but anyway.
Right.
After I didn't sleep with him on the second date, I don't think I ever heard from him again, which is usually the story of my life.
That's what happens. Yeah.
That's what happens.
People don't have any time for.
Men, not women, are more likely to benefit from their good looks in the workplace. Well,
Yeah.
There you go.
I would agree with that.
So they, physical attractiveness matters both for males and females. However, handsome men also out-earned males who were deemed average. Physical attractive males are more likely to be socially mobile. Researchers assess participants' physical attractiveness at age 15. Oh, that's kind of young to charge it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think definitely that's true with men and stature and height and all that other stuff. But I also feel like with women, I think the attractiveness can, in this day and age, is just my opinion, it totally helps if you're trying to get a job as a hostess of a snobby restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
They want someone attractive.
Right.
But I think nowadays, if you're trying to be like a stockbroker or something and you're a very attractive female, I could see people not hiring you because if most of their staff is men, they're like, I can't control what's going to happen when they go to happy hour on Fridays.
All of this stuff is all gone. Like, there's no happy hour anymore. I mean, sadly, I'm saying this sadly. I don't think the happy hour exists anymore. Like, it's all, I love that whole idea of like late 90s happy hour with the stock people.
But I'm saying if a girl then starts dating someone or whatever, it's like, and you own the business, it's going to be on you. Like, unless those two people get married and have kids.
Right.
And even then, if they both stayed there, she could probably still sue you.
Yeah.
Like, they'd have to be hired the exact same day, make the exact same money.
Right.
Have the exact same title in order to fuck without it affecting the boss somehow possibly being sued.
Yeah. This is a couple times.
I do think it's hard.
When I've gone to comedy clubs and like the owner will come in like, we're going to have a good weekend, whatever. I have one rule. Don't fuck the waitresses. And I'm like, what do you think I am? Like I could go get through a weekend at a comedy club without fucking the waitresses. Like I'm not an animal. But yeah.
What if they came in and I was doing a club and they're like, we have one rule.
Yeah.
Don't blow the bus boys. And I'm like, God damn it. That's what I like to do after my second meet and greet. Yeah.
Don't fuck the big 400-pound sound guy who fucks up your name and sweatpants. Oh, I'm glad you said it.
I was thinking about just going back to my hotel by myself and watching TV and taking a shower. Mm-hmm. But I mean, what I really like to do is go balls deep on on the head waiter.
Somebody who just did a whole shift, 2 shows. Oh boy, yeah. Anyway, it's a sad time that all that stuff is gone. The fun times. God, happy hour. Where'd you used to go for happy hour? Where was like Friday happy hour in your day out here? Like New York City, my brother like works in that restaurant business in New York City, and he's like, God, Friday happy hour used to be the thing in New York. Now it's like, because there's no, even if you go into the office now, people don't go in on Fridays anymore. It's all a 4-day work week, so there's no Friday anymore. So it's just like Friday happy hour is just gone. Which remember Cocktail Friday happy hour?
Yes.
Everybody went to the bar.
So my first job out of college, we worked downtown. That's when I worked at Robinson's May.
Okay. Yes.
And my friend Maya and I mean, it was good. There was a place in downtown LA. Oh my God. Like I'm getting tingles thinking about it.
I know. It used to be
like I'd go in my little suit and oh my God, it would just be all the financial guys and it was so fun. That's the only thing I liked about that job. And then I'd go on lunch dates.
Ooh.
I know, I'd be gone for like 2 hours. No wonder I got fired.
Yeah.
I went to like the grill or something, the water grill.
Fancy.
Got a nice piece of salmon.
Yeah.
I think I got a shrimp cocktail.
That sounds lovely.
I came back and the girl that was my boss was 30. She was so mad at me.
Yeah. Well, why?
She was like, that was a really long lunch. And I was so dumb. I'm like, I'm sorry. I had a date.
Hello.
I wasn't going to be rude. Like he's a lawyer. So he's not at a time clock like I am. What's the problem, lady?
That's funny.
I'm obsessed with the fact that the French president, his wife, do you know that she was 40 and he was 15 when they started dating?
Yeah, I just read the headline, so I didn't really deep dive into the article, but is that what it was?
Yes. And now she says she sort of regrets it. She was his teacher.
Yeah.
In the drama department, I believe. And she was married with kids. And they started something. And then
and they're still married.
They broke up. And then she was worried that he'd find somebody else when he went to college. But then when he came back from college, I guess then she was divorced. And then they've been together ever since.
Wow. That's a considerable age difference. I mean,
know.
Just the fact that he's 15
and then he
is
became
weird, too.
president.
Yeah.
I mean.
Wow. I mean, they don't look that much different in age now.
Well, with plastic surgery and everything. Yeah. But, I think, I don't know. I'm just obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with the movie,
French are a little different.
December movie.
Yeah.
Do you know about that coming out?
Who is it? I did read about it.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. It's a scripted movie kind of based on the Mary Kay Letourneau story.
Okay.
But it's like a twist on it where the woman who's in that position is played by Julianne Moore.
Oh,
and then Natalie Portman is kind of meeting with her and studying her because she's going to play her in a movie.
Oh.
So it's like a movie about a movie about a movie.
Okay.
But it's all great actors.
And they get it on? Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore? They're the May December romance?
No. Like she's with like her male student that she stayed with.
Okay. Remember the one years ago, White Palace with James Spader and Susan Sarandon? It was like a maid. But they're like the same age in real life. It's like, wait a minute.
They're not the same age. She's 77.
Well, how do I think James Spader is? He's got to be 60-something.
Yeah, but that's not the same age. This girl is... she's a sexy Spanish model. She makes $11,000 a month. And I was like, why does New York Post always do these things? But she actually isn't real.
I know.
So now you can have an fictitious AI model, and she's gaining popularity, and and I'm like, yeah, why couldn't you do that?
I mean, it looks very real.
Yeah, and I guess so she's 25, she's pink haired. But there's a catch. She isn't real. The buxom babe is actually a bot dreamed by a Spanish designer who uses artificial intelligence to help make the animated model look as lifelike as possible. Oh my God, she's netting up to $10,000 a month or $11,000 a month. We did it so we could make a better living, and then
all right,
virtual models like her. I mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Carol Alt's on OnlyFans. Did you see that?
Carol Alt, the model?
Yeah. She's 60.
60. She's on OnlyFans doing what? Like nude stuff?
Yeah, like sexy stuff.
Oh, because sometimes OnlyFans, they're just cooking in their kitchen.
No, I don't think it's that.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think it's that.
Wow.
Okay, there's a new book about the royal family called End Game. And I am watching the latest season of The Crown.
Yeah.
And I didn't really watch The Crown all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're up to Diana and Dodi Fayed.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Is it really?
This girl that plays Diana, because they have different queens and different Dianas. She looks and acts and talks just like her.
Yeah.
It is like crazy. But the way they're presenting their story is the story that the royal family has always presented.
Right.
Was that we had nothing to do with it. The guy was drunk. The paparazzi chased him. They got a car accident and she died. But remember when there was all those conspiracy theories that because Dodi Fayed was Muslim, they were going to get married and they were in love and all this stuff. Now this is scripted and whatever, but it's pretty interesting. And how much Dodi Fayed's dad, according to the show The Crown, was like pushing him to be with her.
Right.
And how involved the dad was like in their relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good. But anyway, here are some of the things about the book. It doesn't seem like that juicy. It's called Endgame. It's basically, I don't know. I was seeing all these stories on it and then put it all together. And it wasn't like that. There's no communication between Kate and Meghan. We know that. The king is said to have warned members of the royal family not to trust Harry following the publication of The Spare. The Prince William is dying Prince of Wales is eager to ascend the throne, obviously. I mean, I don't really think there's that much juice to it. Princess Anne is described in the book as being the forefront of the supporters of the firm approach taken against the Sussex. So she didn't really like him. They're obviously weirded out by the uncle, Prince Andrew.
Oh, Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew, who was, that was accused of all the stuff and with the Virginia girl from Epstein Island. And anyway, so it's another book of that. I don't feel like anyone really cares anymore. Do we really care? I certainly don't. That's why I put it at the end of the show. I'm like, I just don't think, like, it is what it is.
Right.
Maybe you're going to hang out again. Maybe you're not. Like, I don't know.
I know. I feel like that's like every family. Like the sister-in-laws don't always talk to each other. I mean, isn't that every family?
And I don't think and the momentum is gone. Like, even if they got back together and were laughing, everyone would just be like, well, it was fake.
Right.
Like, you're not close. You don't like each other. You moved to California. The brothers are like, it's never, ever going to be the same.
Right. Well,
and for the people that are, watching them as their royals as well.
Is she going to get back into acting? Because the Suits is such a huge hit on Netflix. Everyone's loving Suits.
I know. I think that she should.
Yeah.
I think she should. You know what she should do?
What?
Oh, my God.
Be in a movie
Welcome. She should have a small part in the Kim Kardashian comedy. Yes, she should. Write her something, Paula Pell. Reach out to her. Have her play herself. Have it be like they're, in Montecito or they're somewhere and she comes and she can show that she's funny and it can be like a tongue-in-cheek where she kind of makes fun of herself.
Okay. That
she was the princess in the Suits and this.
There you go. Somebody called Paula Pell.
You don't think Paula Pell's listening to Juicy Scoop?
Oh,
she probably
I hope she is.
Paris Hilton had another baby.
I know, but then
in London.
But when did she? I feel like I saw her in did you read about all this Vegas thing, the F1 car racing in Vegas?
Yeah.
And she was wearing like an F1, really tight F1 racing.
It's a surrogate.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Both kids were via surrogate.
I did not know
the boy
that.
and the girl.
Well, there's my answer.
No, so this baby London is her little girl, and I guess she was born via surrogate, just like the boy was Phoenix.
Okay.
And they're almost like only like a year in age, maybe difference. And so that's but I don't know if the baby's here or I guess the baby is here. Yes. Right. Welcome their second baby. So the baby is here. Okay.
Good for them.
Chris, so fun.
Thank you for having me back. It's a pleasure to be back.
You're always welcome.
Much. Always welcome on Juicy Scoop.
Tell us, what are the latest plans?
Latest plans?
To see Chris live. You know my friend Stacy.
Yeah.
She is my best friend from college, college dorm girl.
Right.
And she let me know weeks and weeks ago that she bought tickets to your show.
In Charlotte. Yeah.
And I just want you to know what a classy friend I am.
Yeah.
I said, that's great. You'll love him. You know what I didn't do? Call you. Say,
no, I didn't even know.
They want to meet you. Can you get a drink with them after?
I know.
Can they have free tickets? Can they get...
All of the things that drive a comedian crazy.
No, I let them go. I was confident that they'd love you, and they did. The boyfriend started following you.
Good.
He watched all your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She said you were great.
Okay. Yeah, it was a fun show.
And
I wish they would have come up after the show.
Now you do wish. I never said to.
Right.
Because I didn't want to have to get in that weird texting conversation with you while you're going and then her being like, actually, not that she would, but actually we're going to get on the road. He hasn't come out yet.
I know.
And then you're looking for them. Yeah. And then you're wondering as each girl comes up, is this Heather's roommate? Like,
right. Well, it was good. It was a fun show. And thank them for coming. I'm glad they had a good time.
They said you were great.
Here's good. And those are good reviews. Here's some other dates you can come see me.
Yes. God.
Batavia,
Finally,
Illinois.
You have your shit together. You wrote it down.
Batavia, Illinois, the Comedy Vault, December 1st and 2nd, this Friday and Saturday night. Batavia, Illinois, Comedy Vault. Love that place. December 6th, Cleveland Hilarities. My favorite place over there in Cleveland. December 7th, Buffalo Helium. December 9th, Governors in Levittown, Long Island. Back to my hometown of Long Island. December 10th, the Stadium Theater in Rhode Island. Only 4 tickets left. Franjola.fun has everything.
Very nice.
Yeah. It's a little theater in Rhode Island. It's going to be good. And then I'm done for the year.
It's a stadium.
I know. That's what I keep telling you.
It's a stadium with tour. 4 tickets left. Tour. This is how we do it. Stop showing all your cards. Start living like
this girl who shows it's a character. And then I'm done for the year, which I'm excited about.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So that is all one trip. You'll be on it all in one trip? Or you come home in between?
It's kind of one trip.
Oh, okay,
I come back once. And then I go to New York with the family, my daughter and my wife.
Are you going to do like the cute, like
we're doing Radio City.
Cute.
Rockettes. We went last year. My daughter liked it. but we had to get better seats this year because last year we were up on the balcony.
Yeah.
And Santa Claus comes out and he hugs some of the kids in the orchestra seats. And my daughter's like, well, how come I don't get a hug from Santa Claus? We're like, well, because we're up in the balcony. He has to come up here. So now my daughter wants to be closer so she may get a hug from Santa Claus.
I love it.
We got pictures of Santa Claus last week in Costa Mesa. You ever go to that mall? Oh my God, the fancy mall in Orange County.
You mean South Coast Plaza?
South Coast Plaza.
Yes, amazing.
I was at a concert down there, and my wife and daughter came with me to just hang around, and we went to the mall, took pictures.
I do love a day at the mall.
Oh my God, I love
a day at the mall.
Yeah.
Century City Mall, our mall over here at Topanga. Yeah. That's where that murderer was arrested, was at Topanga Social.
He was?
The Tarzana murderer.
He was at Topanga Social? I go there.
I know.
Yeah, I love it over there.
It's not funny.
Oh.
So many things to choose from eating.
Yeah,
from.
Nice options.
Guess he worked up an appetite.
Yeah. Wow.
Chris, and of course you have your show Cover to Cover.
Cover to Cover is my podcast. It's a fun time. We have a
Franjola
fun time. Franjola.fun has all my tickets. Come out. Cleveland, Buffalo, Long Island, Rhode Island, and Batavia, Illinois. And then I'm done with 2023.
I'm already done.
You're done. How do you feel about that? I mean, you're off the road for a little while.
I usually don't do many shows in December because I always am like, oh, I'm competing with like Christmas parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a great time to go because that's when people do want to do their Christmas parties.
You got any fun Christmas parties coming up? I don't think I've.
This week I do.
Oh, really?
This week I'm going to two
They're
like
starting already?
Hollywood event type of things.
Okay.
But they're kind of holiday-ish.
Yeah.
No real people.
Okay.
Inviting me anywhere.
Really?
Which I think I'm finally okay with it.
Yeah.
I think I've hydrated myself.
Okay.
I don't think I'm as thirsty.
You're not thirsty anymore.
I don't think I'm as thirsty for the stuff.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
You think? I'm telling you.
Really?
I've changed.
Well, if you're less thirsty,
I've definitely changed my attitude. I feel like.
Really?
I mean, I'm very, I've done it all. I've done it all.
That's what I keep trying to tell you.
I've done it all. I don't care.
Well, what do you need?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm scarred for life. Thank you, Christopher. I love you.
Thank you.